Hello, Kalu Kalay. How are we doing today? My name is Notepad Anon, and I write games for fun, so what are we doing today? Well, today, obviously, we're going to be... Well, that's the darndest thing. We're going to be actually doing a little bit of a Redux preliminary, because Redux preliminaries are a little bit different than usual. Yeah, hi. Nothing too exciting. We're just going through this game. Hello. Let me see. I need to say hello, Tubercubli, Blinde, Tuberclu Blinde. Hello. I'd also like to thank Misono Kakato, Misono Kakato. I would like to thank both of you for following. Thank you very much. Thank you. Kisu. You know the rest. We're killing hookers in Las Vegas. No, it's Fear and Hunger, Solace in Samino, which is supposed to be, I believe it's Soul of Sleeping or something like that. I don't speak Latin. I knew what I was writing when I wrote this down, and it's been about 2-3 months since I actually wrote this down. I thought it was very very good at my job when I wrote it down the first time. Let me see. I believe this would be Latin because I don't speak this. There we go. It's Solus Insomino, Alone in the Dream, because that's what we're doing, Solus Insomnium. Technically both somewhat qualify, so I'll even make it better. Solus Insomnium, there we go. Get it? You're alone in the dream. Get it? Cause it's Fear and Hunger. For those who don't know, Fear and Hunger is a game franchise. I guess you could call it a franchise now. Fear and Hunger is a game series by a Finnish man, and it's about terrible things happening to people for no reason. You may think, wow, that sounds terrible. And the answer is, yeah, it is. Generally speaking, the first game, which this game was originally created for, is about these 5 people. Kata the mercenary, Enki the, let me see if I can remember all the fucking names. I can't even remember all the fucking names. I knew it's Kata, Enki, Legarde, I think that's his full name, Legarde. I can never remember the knight, and Ragnar. It's about these 5 idiots and the situation they find themselves in the titular Dungeon of Fear and Hunger. It's a horrible dungeon. There are terrible things happening in the dungeon, and you're not going to have a good time being in it, because if you're in it, that probably means you're going to die. I think it's made an RPG Maker. And the game is brutal. That's kind of the entire idea. It's not a very long game, but it's just a very brutal game. Almost everything you do is kind of this, I guess you could call it a roguelike. Diars, that's her name, Diars. I guess you could call it a roguelike in a way, because everything you do is probably going to get you killed. You can touch something, you will die. You want to do something here, you're going to die. You get hit by an attack, your arm has been sheared off. Such as, in this situation, you see good old Enki get his head blown off by an attack. Because, yeah, you do have right equipment and armor and stuff, because if you don't, there's a good chance you're just gonna die, because, well, this is not the dungeon of happiness and plentiful. You're starving to death slowly, you're going to die, and it's generally an unfun experience for everyone involved. However, there was a sequel called Termina. In Termina, you play as another batch of fuckwits. I'm not going to click on that image. You play as another batch of fuckwits. And as those batch of fuckwits, let me open it up here real fast. You're doing your best to survive the Termina Festival. What's in the Termina Festival? Things that want to kill you because it's elder horrors beyond the colors of time. Because, yeah, that's the secret of everything. It's elder horrors beyond the colors of time. But it's very, how do I want to word this? It's very boring. Not the game, not anything like that. It's like, oh, there's elder horrors beyond the colors of time. Yeah, we know. Fear and Hunger has demonetized the game. This is of an actual video game, or how do they get shadow banned as quickly as possible? Or is it the incest one? So the Dark Souls of RPG Maker game. Unfun, dark, and generally unlikable. It is. The thing is, the actual tone of Fear and Hunger and Co. can get very, very wonky, because it is, I would say the term psychosexual is a good term for this game at some points. There are things that occur that, well, things can go wrong. Your limbs get hacked off, your friends die horribly, you encounter the scary penis monsters. It's just generally a horrifying experience for everyone, and no one gets to have fun. But Termina is apparently a lot more forgiving, because I've actually never played Termina. I look at Termina and I say, neat, and I just don't bother buying it. It's on my list to buy, I just don't feel like playing it right now. Is there a reason? Not in particular. I just don't feel like it. Mostly because he keeps updating it. He was updating, mind you, he was updating Fear and Hunger for a while. after the release, and so it's like, oh, well, I don't want to play it right now because he's going to update things, he's going to add more shit, or he's going to add things here. Game's really weird, though. A very typical situation of getting people's legs ripped off and horrible things happening, of course. So, well, what is this game? What is Fear and Hunger? Formerly, what's your goal with the new RTTRPG? Well, excuse me, psychosexual, what? For context sake, Lubu, and I'll say this is verbatim from the game. If you lose to a very particular attack to one of the first enemies in the first game, you're going to get horribly, well, your ass is going to get violated. And then you walk around for a bit without any legs and your ass bleeding before you die. It's a very surreal experience. It's a very surreal game at points. Things can go very wrong, and it's horror in a lot of different ways. Let's just say that. So this game, the original game of Fear and Hunger, Forgotten Chronicles, was kind of taking the original idea of the game and just making a TRPG out of it. Making it a little bit weirder, making it a little bit funkier, making it generally just a little bit more aggro, if that makes sense. Because if you really look at it, the original Fear and Hunger is effectively an OSR game. Like, if you really think about it, you enter a dungeon, you fuck up once by touching the evil chemical of death, you die. Alright, what do we do to fix that? Okay, you enter the dungeon, you fight an enemy that's way too strong for you. What do? You die. You do it again. It is very... If you've ever played an OSR or know the feeling of an OSR, it has a lot of similarities. So my original idea with Forgotten Chronicles is, how do I get the same beat? The same rhythm, you could say, to the game. And I think the first one kind of worked. It had some issues. Hello, Manly. Welcome back, Manly. We've got Punished Manly, of course. So I've been trying to think of, like, all right, how do we update this? There's kind of the immediate update, which is adding Termina stuff in, because the original game takes place about like 101 AD, actually not 101 AD, like 1001 AD. It's very medieval. It is very clearly medieval. You have bows and arrows and dark sorcery and shit. Termina is a little different. You might have seen it when we were going through some of the images, because people have got guns, because it's 1930 something or other. It's vaguely 30s, vaguely 40s, very interwar, pre-war. Things are a lot different, and the game reflects that. You have guns now, and guns play a fairly important part of the game because, oh no, there's a horror beyond the colors of time. What do I do with it? Shoot it with a gun. Oh no, I'm injured and I am in pain. What do I do? Take some morphine. Oh no. You have a lot more things like that going on, where having a gun is possible, where before you had a bow. So adding in kind of more of those interwar period things would be kind of like the immediate bonus, and adding in the idea of shots, adding in morphine, adding in the idea of drugs being a little bit more prevalent, things like that. That's kind of the initial one. Kind of the background, though, is, well, I want to fix some of the systems up, because this is actually Fear and Hunger. We've actually seen a lot of Fear and Hunger in other games I've written. If you've ever seen my item list, that comes from Fear and Hunger. Fun fact: almost all of them do, because I wrote a fairly extensive list of items for this game. And is Clanhead finished? Clanhead is currently being reviewed by the commissioner, so I don't know if it's finished or not. Hence why I've been I gotta give a very vague commitment this week of, like, we're gonna be working on this because this is next on the list. Or we might work more on Clanhead depending on what's going on there. I don't know. It's finished. Is this one a commission? No, this wasn't a commission. I kind of wrote this on a whim one night, effectively, because I wanted to try something. So I got bored. You can actually find the original. You can find the original streams on my channel if you really want to see the my dark descent, if you might say. Let me see if I can find the exact ones. Yeah, these are all the these are all the original streams. This is back in 2021. It's been about 2 years since I have talked about Fear and Hunger. It's been quite a while, actually. You kind of see here, these are all the old videos and stuff. A lot of these were these are fairly old. I had a lot of old design beliefs as well. These are back when every stream was like 1.5 hours. I would play 2 songs at the beginning of every stream, and it would be very quiet. This was the old mic as well. This was the old setup. What a beautiful gnawing. There's the Yaziba's case. Let's see. Yeah, we've got a few things going up here. But this almost hit 1,000, by the way. Good job, team. I'm surprised nobody has completely devoured the Bebop RPG yet, Bebop video yet, but hey, what do I know? The only one that's got hit is the Shadow Dark video recently. There's been a few, been like one or two, but that's fine. Happens. This one has one dislike, but it's probably because I made fun of this game. Old design beliefs, like what? Long time ago, I had very... Let me see. Yeah. My original way of doing things was like this. My old design beliefs were very, how do I want to word this? Very direct. I didn't add in any fluff. I didn't add anything like that. I was like, nope, fuck that. Don't need it. We're not worrying about it. Very to the point, very simple, very, you kind of see there's a lot of things that are very precise in how I wanted to continue doing the same thing over and over again. Yeah, you got some things like, yeah, magic is very poorly defined. We'll get to some of these going through. Let me see if I can find some of these. I did adjust the page size. This is what the original game looks like, mind you. I adjusted the page size and things. Very direct in my old way of doing things. Very simplistic in some other ways. Like, what's everything? Everything is here. This is effectively copy-pasted from other games. Just very blunt, very particular, very, I would say utilitarian. I was a very utilitarian dev back in the day. I've changed things gradually over time to be a little bit less utilitarian, to add a little bit more fluff to things. But you gotta see, just like, here's a shit ton of lists rather than having any sort of tables or anything. Yeah. I would say probably like my largest departure. If you really look at some of those older games, you can kind of see the gradual shift from more utilitarian. How do I want to word this? Here's the same thing over and over again, but just slightly changed and put into different contexts. Versus, I'm gonna very much custom make things. Gonna add a lot more flavor behind things. Try to be a lot more. How do I want to word this? Trying to be a lot more kind to new players. These old games, some of these older ones, I would say anything pre-2002, mid-2002. A lot of those pre-22 games were very, fuck you, here's the game, don't like it, fuck off. So you were a nut buster. Somewhat. I was very direct with some of them, just because I was kind of playing it by fast and loose a lot of the time. That was... Fear and Hunger, That was when we had, I believe I still had, did I even have a model in 22? No, I don't think I did. I think it was literally just me talking. It's just me talking over a blank screen, effectively. Me as I went through things. No manlies, no anything like that. I think over time I've gradually shifted to be more kind, more quiet, more addressing situations. So, yeah. I also had this. Also, I was like, buy fucking Fear and Hunger. God damn it, buy the goddamn game. So let's get into it a little bit. Let's, yeah, here's DRs. DRs. I'm gonna try to I'm gonna be removing the artwork slowly. Yeah, chain, gotta make sure to fix that up. The core idea of this game is a little bit odd. I actually have my notebook here. Because during the I don't have a computer and I'm a scream arc, I actually did some things here. Let me go through here a little bit. Is this the correct one? Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Ah, okay. Because one of the things with this game is that it's a D20 system. Yes, it's a very simple D20 system. The character attempts an action with a chance of failure, check is called. Characters roll 1d20 plus modifier, attempt to reach a target number. Like, I even call it, like, here's the void. I'm like, it's a fucking GM. You know what this is. They roll less than the P. Yeah, so coin flip's gonna stay in. Like, this need. I need to separate this out a bit into its own section. Effectively, everything in a lot of times in Fear and Hunger, what'll occur is, oh no, there's something going on. I'm gonna flip a coin. I'm gonna flip a coin and see what happens. If you choose the right coin, you're good. Usually it's 50-50 random chance things. There's a variety of issues that can go on with being violated in the Dungeon of Fear and Hunger. Hello, Manly. So I think I'm going to give that its own thing. It's effectively a meta currency, but not a meta currency at the same time. This needs to, I'm going to put a big note for myself here. Fucking change this all. Oh god, oh fuck. So, this has a very particular situation. Because this game was actually, fun fact, this game was actually pretty much directly copied from the first iteration of the Notepad D20 system. Yes, you may be wondering, what's the first iteration of the Notepad D20 system? Well, it might surprise you. Let me bring that up for you real fast, just to make sure that you can all feel a little bit sad about life. Welcome to the first iteration of D20 of the Notepad D20. Me being really mad at Feast of Legends one day. So I wrote a 75-page rendition of why I fucking despise this game. Yes, this is quite literally where it came in. I did this over the course of about 2 days. Of just pure hatred of why this game exists. Yeah. So, maybe not the best starting point. You know, normally people go on Twitter and make mean tweets because it quite literally, it was getting shilled weirdly on TG for a while. Yeah, it was getting shilled on TG as like a meme game. And I was like, fuck it. It's me, Mr. Game Design. And I'm gonna make this. So we need to this gets a little bit, I'm putting a rework on all these because the core idea of the Notepad D20 system is very simple. Anytime you roll a anytime you roll a 20, Let's say, for example, I roll my 20. Nat 20, woo! You have momentum. Good things happen. You go max damage, plus whatever your damage die is. You have advantage on your next roll. Things are going good for you. You seize the momentum. However, you roll a 1, you fumble. Bad things happen. Oh no. However, there is the idea of continuing momentum. Now, in actually Feast of Legends, this was an interesting idea they put down, but they never expanded upon it because they just wanted to be like nat 20s all day, every day. It's kind of the idea that you will never stop critting as long as you're paying. So let's say, for example, natty 20, oh my god! I roll again and I rolled a 5. I can spend 15 health, 15 mine, 15 something to boost myself up as if I had rolled a 20. I had rolled a nat 20. You're killing yourself slightly, but you're pushing yourself forward always. Which was kind of the main idea. It was kind of this momentum you're always having. And thence rolling a 1 was you end that momentum. You stop. Idea, good. Everything else, well, Feast of Legends was a meme. But all I'm saying is McDonald's, hire me. I will write you the Grimace RPG that we all need. Hamburglar class, come on. Let Ronald McDonald decapitate a Burger King. Come on, give me the okay to do it. McDonald's, I will be your strongest soldier. Unless Arby's gets me first, then I'm an Arby's man 100% of the way. Sorry, it's the Five Guys RPG. I'm not even drinking yet. So, the big thing is you're a tormented. They actually talk about this a little bit in the game. They don't mull on it very, very long. It's pretty much the idea is that there are certain characters that are tormented. You have a tormented soul. Because you have a tormented soul, you're a little bit more powerful. You're a little bit weird. You are, for lack of a better word, individual player characters. In the world of Fear and Hunger, a tormented soul effectively has a soul to become a god. Anyone can become a tormented soul to become a god. However, very few of them actually succeed, and many of them just die because people suck. Yeah, so the idea was, hey, you are tormented. You enter the dungeon for this reason. Goals may be different. You always are drawn to one another, though. It's maybe you want to kill each other. Maybe you want to find purpose against the old and new gods. You are always doing something. This broke down into your attributes, your fates, and your skills. Now, this is where things differed pretty heavily in the original draft of the D20 system. Because I'm like, hey, I want to keep it thematic. That was my first problem, is I decided to keep things thematic. Not a Black Bear Diner kind of man. See, we used to have a couple diners around here that I actually really liked. A lot of them, so one went out of business and one kind of has new ownership. It's kind of like, see, we have like the one big chain around here that I love and I eat at all the time, but I haven't eaten there in a while because their lines are insane. There used to be a place where you can just like go in there relatively reliably, but nah, it's that time of year where everyone and their fucking mother shows up and I'm like, I just want my sandwich. I just want my big buggin' sandwich, but you're not gonna give it to me and I'm gonna feel real sad about it. I am in misery. I am the misery. Oh, the misery. So, effectively, you had attributes, fates, and skills. Okay? Attribute, easy enough. Your fears, ferocity, adroitness, and resolve. Now, you might be saying, alright, that's pretty easy. However, most of them were pretty light. I wanted to keep all the attributes very tight. It's, hey, these are 3 to -3. If you have -3 ferocity, you're not very ferocious. You're not someone who is very strength. It's, very rage into combat against others who displease them. slowly, I have in my notes here was change all the attributes to be more approach based, which I like the idea of that. I think that fits fear and hunger a little bit more because I'm going to have to put the note of you are assumed to be competent at your job. You are assumed to know how to climb a fence. That's not going to be a problem you have to do. That's not an issue for you. You are a cool person in a situation. You are a person in an extreme situation. But we can assume that you know how to climb a fence. I can assume you know how to open doors. However, later on, that might not be the case. But we'll get to that. Kind of the idea was like we're going to change them all to be like more approach based. I'm like, all right, some of them work, and some of them don't. Like erudite, like ferocity is supposed to be like how do you approach something directly? It's it's your fears, obvious. Ferocity is I want to kick down the door. Eruditeness is figuring out how do I open a door. Adroitness is I'm going to pick the lock on the door, and resolve is saying something. That's kind of one of those ones that were like, this is more of an attribute, less than an actual like thing I'm going for, but it fits the acronym fear. All right, but then you had your love, which is your fate and determination. This is one of those things that I need to like fix because cool idea, terrible way of doing things. Your loves are your luck, occult, vitality, and evils. If you can't tell, I was really stretching for this one. Everything is ranged from 0 to 20 for these ones. These are your saves, effectively. One of the idea was if you can roll over or roll under. If you are trying to like beat something, you're trying to use your luck or use your occult knowledge, you're trying to roll under it. But if you're trying to reject it, being like, I'm not worrying about my luck anymore, you want to roll over it. So someone with very low luck doesn't want to leave anything to chance. They want to be really precise about things. Anyone with a really high occult doesn't want to apply logic to things. They want to see the hidden meanings behind things. Then we have vitality. It fit. It fit. That was that's why vitality is here, because it's a V word. This is the fear and hunger game, Draco. Vitality, eat vegetable. Yeah, it was like vitality, it's health, because I needed a physical save. That's like one of the things that I needed. It was like, all right, luck is easy enough to understand. Okay, luck. I'm relying on luck. I'm no longer relying on luck. Where's my notes on this? Like I wrote a bunch of these like schizo notes about this fucking thing because I was getting like real desperate on how to make things work. Where's my notes? Oh no, I don't have my notes anymore. That's never a good sign when I like look at things. I'm like, where the hell are my notes? Where did you go, Mr. Notes? That might have been in my... That might be in this one. Let me check my other notebook. Yeah, because I have multiple notebooks because I'm actually a fucking nerd. You may not have realized, as you can, book turning, page turning ASMR. Nope, this is definitely not it either. Fucking ancient one. That's not in there. Maybe it's in this other note. Is it in this other notebook? It might be. Because that would be funny. If it was in the other notebook. Nope, I don't believe it's in the other notebook. Where did I fucking... These notebooks are useless if I lose track of them. I wrote all of these things down, and it was a really good idea, but then I lost everything. My life is falling apart, if you must know. But the core concept is I need something to be... How do I want to word? I need something to act as, like something here, because I was like, oh, well, maybe this roll over, roll under system would be interesting, like that, but I'm like, do I want to even go down that route? Like, that's a completely different, like, wavelength than everything else I've been working with. But that might be the outcome I'm looking for. You might be seeing some issues crop up around this, and that's for a reason. A little fucking fly flying around here. Yeah. So, yeah, so this is also one of those things, like, these needed to be their own thing. I know how to do this. We're just going to change these to skill sets. But magic needs to be its own thing. But I don't know how to make magic its own thing. Which magic is... Magic in Fear and Hunger works effectively off of Call of Cthulhu logic, where you shouldn't cast it because you will go insane and everyone will die. All your friends are dead and it's your fucking fault. Because you get things like this, like training and magic being their own things, like this kind of maybe... I think splitting these up will be a good idea. Like, hey, magic is its own thing. Training is its own thing. These are very separate from one another. They are not the same. They are not anywhere close to being same entity than a regular skill. So... Because there are classes, I will say that. There are classes. Some of them are a little bit more obvious than others. Hello, phone. Some of them are a little bit more obvious than others, such as the Adherent, otherwise known as the Enki. Technically, what you do is you select both of these. One of them is kind of like your background. One of them is your way you approach things. So it could be, hey, I'm a cleric and a servant of the faith. Okay, what's a cleric servant of the faith look like? Well, a cleric is going to have a 1-1 in erudite and resolve and have a 10-5, 15-10. A cleric mystic is going to be different. A cleric firebrand is going to be a little bit different. Cultist is going to be different. Zealot's going to be different. That's kind of the idea there. Skills. This is actually from... How do I want to do this? These are from the game themselves. How that works is, most of the time, if you create your very own character, create a character, you choose the mercenary or whatever, what happens is you go through a little choose your own adventure thing leading up to it. During this time I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this, boom, 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 boom. I've learned all these things, you start the game. Most people have builds, you can figure them out pretty easily of what's good and what's really not good at all. However, you see this. I think this works. The idea up here works fine. I actually kind of like the idea of, like, okay, you kind of have to choose between, like, here's your initial setup. I can't really tell you anything more. These need, like... I mean, if anyone has any suggestions or ideas, feel free to tell me. I'm Literally always desperate for anything when it comes to these. Literally always desperate. Yeah, so we don't need you anymore. Kind of soul stones, opium powder, blue vials, like all the equipment needs to get updated. We need to update the equipment. Knights. That's good old proud and noble knights. You kind of see what they get. Hence why I'm like, wait a second, okay, these guys get like really good weapons and stuff. Because literally anyone will tell you the most efficient thing to do is play a knight, because knights get a bunch of toys. Mercenaries, personally my favorite. Tahara is the hero of darkness. He is the hero of the story. I will always say that. Yeah, mercenaries, skilled, adaptable in the field. Like, these are like a kind of a truncated version of the stories from the game. I don't know if Termina has them. I'm pretty sure it does, but Outlanders, you see, hey, distribute 4 additional points. As you can kind of see, they're very basic. Some of them are a lot more easy. It's like, hey, you can eat people, you do this, and like some of these are like very, very vague, and like maybe changing these, maybe removing this entirely might be beneficial. I really don't know. That's just one of those things I need to do, especially when we start changing how I want to handle skill sets. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take zombies and ziggurats, which by itself is a successor to this game, and put in skill sets into this one. All a skill set is saying, hey, I am a locksmith. You can do everything locksmiths can do well. You get a benefit for it. Hey, I am a knight of the kingdom. You get all the bonuses and all the background skills of being a knight of the kingdom. What does that mean? It means that you can talk to people better. It means this, it means that, it means this. Just kind of its skill sets are more like your background, like very generalized backgrounds. Here they became very particular because having the devour action was an actual action, Fear and Hunger, because it was very important. No, about the skills you can obtain at the beginning by making choices linked to your background. Ideas about equipment, kind of anything really. Rat catching. You gotta see the idea, Purple Robed Wizard. Yeah, that's kind of the thing with the skills. I'm like, I want some of them to make them feel unique, but I'm like, how do I want to maybe like put them in its own special category? But I don't know yet. We're working. Termina actually released, God, a few months ago now. This has been on the list to do for a while. I didn't want to Redux it simply because I knew it was coming. Like, I knew this game, I knew Termina was coming. I was like, I'm gonna wait for Termina to come out, and I'm gonna do that. Let's see, he is from Termina, actually. This is a character from Termina. And this was, the Scholar was entirely because kind of Termina stuff was out there already. Knowledge, Karma Sutra, prayer, black magic, knowledge of God of the Dun. Yeah, some of these just need to get changed around. I like the idea of like, here's a little bit of a choose your own adventure story to kind of give you an idea of what's going on. Might change that. What I should do is we're going to add, there's 2 more I want to, there's a few more I want to add. The soldier, the noble. I know. I feel so silly that I lost my notes on that. Like, it's such a silly, it's such a stupid thing, because I wrote down all my notes about it, and I was like, okay, this is like a big deal. I want to remember all these notes. And then I lost my notes. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stand up. Here we go. Got my notes. Section of the I was looking. Fuck. So, kind of some of my notes here that I wrote down. This is about a month and a half ago at this point. Boy, these are schizo. These are some genuine schizo notes. Oh yeah, we're gaming everyone. Yeah. So, let's see. So we've got the new ones. This was going to be the veteran, the aristocrat, not noble. Rat, broken. That's kind of a name pending. Prol, and the investigator. There we go. I was going to add more archetypes to kind of the mix to give them a little bit more ideas. My notes here, let's see. So skill groups, more personality per character. Then we have feats, talents, histories, question mark, actions, knowledge, magic, training. Actions and knowledge, training with a little like doodle of a man. That seems to be about it. That seems to be about the extent of Notepad's notes. We're actually fixing the game. Roll 1d20, add modifiers versus TN. All that. Fear, approach base, love, saves and fates, valiance, endurance, vigor, physical resilience. I don't know. I don't even know. Oh. I'll grab it. Fury and biter that would let you fight efficiently without losing limbs is very easy, in fact. Yes, it is in fact a thing. So I was thinking like maybe you're thinking the right idea there. Kind of more like it allows you to do something more like feats, I guess. Feats could work. Like change these to more like generalized. Feats wouldn't be the correct way of wording it, but the idea is here's something that you can do, like here's a tangible benefit that's a little bit more than like you can eat people. Very vague. Blood, dirt, and tears. Let's see. We want to span this out a smidge. So we're into a number of limbs that allows them to perform specific actions or allow them to simply injure one another. Reword. While damage is bad, limb is being struck. If it hits 0, the limb is destroyed. Yeah. We're meant to total of 200 spell. Yeah, so it's kind of the idea like every character has 200 health. However, all that 200 health is spread across your entire body. So taking 50 health to your head is, oof, I am injured. Or, hey, oof, I am going to die. Hey, that's kind of more of the idea is if you take an axe to the skull, it doesn't matter if you're super healthy, you'll be fine. If you get both of your arms, both of your legs destroyed, you'll still be fine. You just won't have arms or legs anymore, relatively speaking. So, but if you take poison, you'd be actually attacking their health directly rather than a limb health. Yeah, that needs to get light behind the eyes, agoraphobia. Kind of the idea is you're always going bonkers as you do things, because mind is actually your ability to use spells as well. Like, that's the big idea, is your sanity is your spell, is like how well you can actually cast. Roll d20 for random phobia. Yeah, some... These are all actually the potential fears you can get, in most of them anyway, are fears that you can actually get from the game. Yes, you can randomly roll to get my personal favorite, claustrophobia, because you are just going to fail miserably at life most of the game. It's great. Hunger and starvation. This needs a rework. Yeah. You're always going insane. Everything saying we need to actually talk about that. I might put this in a different place. This is the big idea behind combat. Is in combat, you have a base survival rating, pretty much a base, AC, you could even call it, of 20. However, if you add in armor, if you're wearing heavy armor, you're wearing anything like that, you're actually reducing your AC. Easier to hit you. You may say, why would I ever want that? Because armor is ablative. If you take 15 damage to your chest, normally, you're taking 15 damage to your chest. However, if you're wearing a breastplate, taking 15 damage there is taking 15 damage to that breastplate. It's going to be the thing keeping you alive. It's a wall of metal between you and it. And it may not be the most efficient, but it's something. Like, that's why things like, hey, being a, having a skill, being a kind of a dodge fighter is entirely likely in this game. Just don't get hit. What's the secret here, kids? Don't die. Yeah, turns and rounds. We need to... I'm just gonna put expand and reword here because that's what needs to happen. Determining initiative. Because this was a thing, I actually got really inspired. I like the initiative system in this game. I've never used it for anything else because I could never find a good reason for it. Effectively, it's Shadow of the Demon Lord has a system of fast and slow actions, effectively. You do a fast action, you get 1. You do a slow action, you get 2 action. You say, hey, I want to attack you. Just want a fast action attack. I will always go above someone making a more dedicated action. From there, you're making initiative, but I didn't want to make initiative. What I chose to do is how heavy your armor is. A knight with super heavy armor is going to go last in whatever category they choose. They're going to go dead last because they're wearing super heavy armor. That means that kind of very lightweight fighter who's like dodging around can get that first hit in, but God help you if they miss, or God help you if they don't kill, where they're just going to get immediately smacked. Yeah, characters who have certain limbs destroyed, like fuck. Yeah, hence the this is the For context sake of this image, this may look a little bit weird. That's the Crow Mauler. The Crow Mauler shows up anytime you try to save after the first time. You do have Moonless, right? The little girl is a little girl, and she's not very good at fighting. And God help you if you don't have the face mask on, because if you don't have the face mask on, you're gonna die. It's gonna peck your eyeballs out, or just bash your skull in. Weirdly enough, this confuses people a lot, the fast and slow. Yeah, I know. Again, that's why I'm going to clarify this a little bit. That's why I've been calling it like fast and dedicated. I might call it like quick and dedicated, even being like, yeah, you're making a quick action. You're doing one thing. A dedicated is you're moving up, you're swinging. A quick action is you're just running. You're just doing something right away. You kind of got that jolt to go first. So actions, we just need to clean up. Yeah, this is the idea. If they have a dedicated action, this needs to be a lot easier, because like, if I want to say I want to make an attack and I want to attack normally, you're just going to hit random. You're just striking randomly. If you are making a aimed strike, if you use a dedicated action to say I want to hit their head, you're going to roll against their SR, whatever the problem is, and you're going to try to hit them. You're gonna swing and you're gonna think, and their head goes flying. This needs to be clarified a little bit. Again, just what I've been doing more naturally is kind of like putting these all in their own little thing. Heavy swing, they deal double damage if their attack hits. Guarding. What does guarding do? Dedicates themselves to the. Why is blocking guard completely different things? I don't know. I have no idea why they're different things. Yeah, I don't know. Don't question it. Don't think about it. This needs to be like, choose a fucking map type. Type notepad. 'Cause you're a fool and I know nothing. Magic needs to get reworked. Just rework magic notepad. Notepad, please. Yeah, so one of the things is I don't have an enemy section in this game, really, because there's a lot of weird enemies in Fear and Hunger. Yeah, having limbs act as priority for these fight, mix things up. Allow players to attempt to solve the puzzle of defeating them. Hits may be guaranteed, but target made the wrong part may be a waste of time and effort. Because there's actually a DOE to combat. A DOW, you could say, to combat in Fear and Hunger. And that DOW is very simple. And that is, you defend yourself until you kind of know the rhythm. Or you try to go hyper aggro and go for the thing that obviously is dangerous. This monster has a giant pulsating penis and an axe in one hand. What should we target first? Well, I'm going to rip its axe hand off, and then I'm going to stab it in its penis. And now it's dead because I chopped off its fucking head. Yeah, or it's like, go for the legs, go for the arms. Some are a little bit more obvious than others, but that's kind of the idea. I think I'm going to have to integrate that into its own being, you could say. Say, hey, this is its own thing. Is enemies are just going to have a hit chart. They don't really have HP or anything like that. They have HP, obviously. They have SR, they have limbs. Just going to be that. So we're going to have to make a full enemy creation system, kind of like. A human enemy is simple. When things start becoming, you may be wondering, what am I talking about? This is one of the first enemies you encounter. This is the prison guard. As you can tell, prison guards are a little goofy looking, similar to their ballista variant. These are the literal first, the absolute first enemies you will encounter. That's just one of those funny bits where you look at, you're like, haha, what do you mean this is the first enemy you encounter? It's like, oh, what is this? It's a lizard man. How do we fight it? I don't know. You kill it. Hey, as you can see, there aren't many enemies in this game. There aren't. That's not the point. It's more about fighting, well, fighting these things. These things. These things. Yeah. That's... Yeah. Hello, Crow Mauler. Yeah, there aren't actually, there isn't a lot of fights in this game. That's not the point of the game. It's more about how do you survive these fights. And how things can go wrong. Yes, we can tell. Let's see. We need that. Is a side note, and why is it shit? Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where I look back, I'm like, why did I decide to make this a bonus to them? Yeah, there's no penalty to hit. To hit, it's large. Yeah, there's no penalty to hit. They just get a bonus to defend. Why? Why did I do this? Is there a reason? I don't know. I might literally have to go back to some of those older videos and just look and like, why did I write it this way? There has to be a reason. Don't need you. The status effects. This is going to be a nice chart. I like charts. Charts make life easier. Yeah, fears by 4. Bleeding. The character is bleeding. They will lose 1d6 health every round. Burning, concussed, eye trauma full. Severe organ damage. Yeah, these are severe physical trauma. I'm gonna, let's see, we're going to yeah. Hey, yeah, having eye trauma is maybe actually, you know what I should add is add more horrific traumas, because I'm going to have to add something like, you know, gunshot wound. Like, yeah, you just have a gunshot wound. How do you fix this? You don't. So, let's see. Dungeons dark, deprived, little way of conventional lighting, food stuff, or equipment to view. Find goods, equipment, tools. Score mentor will always begin with starting equipment. So they can buy with the remaining silver if they wish. Residents will start with less, but will have adapted the situation. And I'm okay with most of the medicine. We might have to add in some medicine because you get like a lot of medical tools. Smokables and herbs. Yeah, smokables are very we're going to actually have to do add in the new drugs. Drugs, medicines, heroin, and meth. Lots of drugs. More drugs. Because, again, everything should be useful. When in doubt, I have heroin, and I'm going to take my heroin, and I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah. Gain hook for hand, 5 peg leg, prosthetic arm. Probably added more like conventional stuff. So foodstuffs and drinks. Foodstuff and drinks. We're just probably going to be maybe like add more. Add more? Question mark. You can probably add some more. Too bad. Because a lot of this is just like, hey, you have food. You can use food to do things. Liquids. Liquid is good because you can drink it. Who's pinging me? Who's pinging me and why are you pinging me? Do you have a good reason for pinging me? Or is it going to be a cringe reason? Oh, it's going to be a cringe reason, everyone. Let's see. Equipment and consumables. Like, here's just a big thing. Like, a split. We're going to split this apart. Split this apart. Cringe. But what is the central part of the game? From what I understand, majority of the time you want to avoid encounters. No, to a degree, because it's one of those things. How do I want to word this? Getting into fights is not your ideal outcome, but it's probably going to be inevitable because you are in an extremely hostile place. This place does not want you to live. This place does not want you to be here anymore. It wants you to die. Because it hates you. And it's one of those things like, well, we don't really want to get into fights. You don't want to. That's a terrible idea to get into, like, oh, we're just going to fight everything. No. How do we get around this situation? Well, how do we avoid situations? Well, but if we do get into a fight, do you want to have nothing on? Or do you want to have a weapon? Do you want to have armor? The answer is yes, probably you do. At its core, fear and hunger is a... How can I word it? Fear and hunger is a game of resources. Everything is a resource. You are a resource. What can you sacrifice? Can we afford to get hurt in this fight? Can we not afford to get hurt? What if we do we have the resources to repair ourselves, or do we have to burn something else to fix ourselves? You know, it's like, do we have the options around us? I think weapons should be fine. Most of them have at least a point to them. Yeah, most of the weapons have a point to them. So maybe... Hence why you see things like crossbows are incredibly fucking scary in this game. A crossbow can kill you instantly. However, there's something very important about this. How many crossbow bolts do you have? You got 5? You got 10? How much does that cost you? Opportunity. That's really what a game is all about. It's opportunity costs. You never know. Maybe I should actually add in... what you don't have and what you do have. Yeah, damage works a little bit. I don't want to change damage too much because I think it works pretty well. It might be when we get to there, we might have to fix things around. What? What? Huh? So armor is the big one. Class of armor reflects the skill needed to wear it effectively, and weight is how much individual weight. Not skill in particular, the weight is doubled. All armor is based off individual sections of torso armor, and arm armor have different values in some cases. What do you mean? Is that represented at all? Oh, it is. Headgear. So we've got our basic headgear. Nothing is stopping you from wearing heavier gear, and everything is. Let's see. We do. Yeah, right there. We need to explain armor a bit more. Explain. It's gonna be kind of weird. Having something between you and it is more important than not. As you can kind of see, civilian clothes, none. Arm guards, 40, 80, 100. The best in the game pretty much is, well, plate armor, roughly speaking. But half plate armor is probably going to be some of the best you can get. Plate armor is insane. It's just, you're going to get one piece of plate armor an entire campaign. Do you want to wear it? Same goes, yeah. Be allowed to use a block action. Alright. Yeah, here's the guard bonus. Here's the durability. We need to clarify that a little bit more. Because effectively, the idea behind shields is if you have a shield, you're sacrificing the shield's durability for your durability. Hey, I've put this up. I have a kite shield in front of me. It's going to soak up 30 damage. But it's now 20. It's now down 20, and the durability of my shield is now 10. I'm probably going to want a new shield relatively pretty quickly here. However, I might not get a new shield. That might not be a thing in my future. Go away, Almer. This needs an. We need to expand. Domain is broad category, broad strokes. Most surface level doctrine to goes most confused. Where the religion, cult, or members stand, creating a doctrine, break it down to the outer and inner doctrine. I'm different between life and death. Mother and Infirme's doctrine is half Hippocratic oath, half religious symbolism. Because the entire the concept here is you're entering into a place ruled by gods. The gods define what's actually going on. That's the situation. Hey, you're entering a place where you have Mother Infirme. What is in Mother Infirme's entire gimmick? She is literally a fucking cult of people who are half trying to cure diseases and half trying to cause them. They don't want to cure you of diseases. They want people to all become vectors for disease, but not suffer from them. That's their big thing. And they'll poison a well to make sure that you understand. Give me 1 second. Add in something. Add that note right there. Add guns. Oh, the herald to a better avatar, powerful knowledge of human. Infamous church claims that all the residents are part of her flock. Avatar Sir Baldwin of Belay, a hulking man driven madness. Guards sacred temple complex of Mather and Faramay. He is infected with hundreds of diseases, in addition to his own heavily advanced leprosy. He is little more than a shadow of the brave knight he once was, simply a husk of meat and pus. Yeah, this is one of those things, like, we just need to make this way more detailed. Because, yeah, it's like, spells our abilities can understand how to do. Ta-da! There's no real good way. Yeah. Yeah, we need to, like, what we need to do is create a budget spell system, maybe. Will always hit them unless they have some sort of protection against them, while few, if any, mindless creatures would possess. It's a weird way of wording that. That's like one of the most powerful aspects of spells, is you can't dodge spells. You aren't blocking a spell. You aren't doing anything unless you've prepared to block the spell, kind of thing. So it's like, yeah, hey, I'm gonna hit you with Black Bile Whip. It deals 5d8 body damage to a limb. You're just gonna say 5d8 damage, which could cripple a limb. But that's 40 mind you no longer have, which you can cast maybe once or twice. The combined of cancer's growth. A vial of blood, a vial of stomach bile, and a vial of spit mixed with mother's milk to create a copy of the ante with the various parts. Mother's embrace. Touch the mother. Yeah, like this needs, let's see. Actually, I could say. Okay, there we go. This, generally speaking, isn't going to be changed much. We're probably going to have to add in some dungeon terms, but the concept here is you, the GM, this is a random dungeon creation system, effectively. It's not actually difficult to do. It's just a lot of dice rolling, which I'm assuming that a game master is going to roll ahead of time. You're not saying you don't have to, but you kind of see when you roll, you're going to start connecting things. And you're slowly going to have, players put down safe havens in places. Those, you don't really know where those safe havens are going to end up being. And then you end up with this. This is the, Santa Erudillo Market District. It's the Santa Erudillo. As you kind of see here, the idea is you've now pretty much randomly created an area for them to explore. You enter into from the fish market. Fish market's pretty fucking huge. It's a huge amount of area. It's kind of difficult to navigate through fully, but you're making your way through. As they say, making your way downtown. If you go into the fish market, you can enter Mary's Pies pretty easy. What's Mary's Pies? Who knows? It's just Mary's Pies. You're looking around a little bit, you're like, all right. Now, you're also seeing, hey, we learned a little bit earlier that Mary has a secret way into a warehouse. What's that warehouse? Well, it's Esteban's warehouse. When you follow a secret path, you enter it, do a thing, and now you're in Esteban's warehouse. There's some things in here that he doesn't want anyone else to know about, including a bunch of zombies. Fight zombies, you kill zombies, you do good. Now you have access to the smuggling canal. A little bit, but you end up getting to Lady Lucia's fountain. Alternatively, you don't want to do that because that's stupid. Because that's a terrible idea, and you don't want to do that at all. Maybe you want to do something a little bit safer. So let's say, hey, we're at the fish market, why don't we go down these broken streets? We're going to enter the butcher's den. We go to the butcher's den, it's like, okay, this is clearly where a giant ass fucking monster is. That's spooky. I don't like that very much. I'm getting scared. But now you're at the old butcher shop. And now you're at the market stalls, and you kind of, the idea is that every single room of this area of the dungeon is kind of weird, kind of funky. You don't quite know what's going on in them. It's like, where's Dr. Connor in this? Where is market stalls? Fountain. And that's kind of the idea behind this. Oh, the dice drop thing. Whoa, this looks wild. Verden Wild made me really cool place for the solo game. Yeah, like, I do like the idea. I've been calling it the void creation system for dungeons and stuff. I've used this a few times, but this is how it starts. This is all that starts. And then you slowly start adding more. You start making connections. I'm going to have to double check the connections again to make sure everything works correctly. And then you make more connections. You know, players put down aspects that they want to put in because they don't fucking know what's going on. Suddenly, and then you get Santa Erdeno's market district. You're entering the fish markets. You've seen the Mary's Pies. You've found things that are interesting, and you're going to do this for everything. My big thing is, if you want a locked door, add a locked door. Passage is blocked, then block it. The idea is to create a very chaotic dungeon that the GM doesn't really control. Because, actually, fun fact, in Fear and Hunger, the first game, the dungeon is actually procedurally generated. No two dungeons are the same, however, there are places that are kind of set in stone. There are anchors in certain locations. Those anchors are really how the game functions. As you go to an anchor, you do a thing. So, I don't think the void system's going to get big changes, but it doesn't need to have a bunch of big changes because I'm very happy with it. I'll probably double check to make sure things work a little bit more. It's mostly just going to be double checking how connections work, because I know there are chances that connections are weird. I have known that for a while. There are chances where like connections you'll find certain areas of dungeons that just don't mingle well, and it's just weird and doesn't work the way I want. Just little stuff like that. Double checking. Build the following charts. Build as appropriate. Remember, these charts are for your convenience and should not be taken as gospel. We're gonna be changing, rewriting this section, rewriting this shit. Dungeon is not fair. It does not care, and it will kill the tormented. Yeah. some of these, like the natural SR of most enemies, are very light. Yeah, some of these need to get changed. I need to add more. I should add, say, you know, add more traits. Add more traits. I just insult myself anytime I do things like this. You gotta remember, I just ruthlessly insult myself. Yeah, some of these are gonna need to get some, probably added more of these enemy traits. It's gonna give them a little bit more. Yeah, innocence and corrupted. The tormented will die. Inside difficult hostility of the place, putting the pressure on the original band of the tormented themselves. When tormented dies, either by their own hand or another's, a player will not create a new tormented character. Instead, they will choose to create an innocent or corrupted. Promise of safety, duty, or greed, or maybe they're simply residents of this taking place before its fall into depravity. Innocents are regular people. They do not have the spark of tormented nor the black mark of the corrupted. Character drawn from the innocents trying to best survive. Like, the joke behind the innocent is that you suck. Like, they're not good. Innocents are not very well qualified. They're not really adapted to survive. Like, a actual full-on character, an actual tormented is going to be way better than an innocent. But innocents are just there, and corrupted, on the other hand, allows you to play moonless. You know, when creating a corrupted character, consult the enemy design section. All from beasts, created demi-humans or humanoids represent individuals who can move and somewhat think for themselves, have been twisted and broken. Choose skills, which may sub out for skills for additional traits if they wish. Trade-off for this newfound power simple and humanity. Impulsive and dangerous. While the traits they may make them difficult to navigate through dungeons corridors, the freak of nature, something that is not human, but clinging desperately to the remaining aspect of their mind. Probably going to expand. Yeah, it's effectively recruiting moonless, like moonless, fear and hunger. This is moonless. Moonless is a good girl. She is a dog who has been corrupted by the dungeon. She is she's a combat monster. She is insane, and she will kill you, and she will rip your head off. And she will rip your head off, and there's nothing you can do about it, and it's hilarious. They are probably the most dangerous, and one of the most dangerous party members by far. Yeah. There's also the girl. Hello. Say hello to the girl. This is her. There you go. That's what we should. That's what this is an innocent. To give you an idea, the girl is the innocent. I didn't mean to click on that. Moonless is the corrupted. See, this is the advanced moonless. Termina. Yeah, it's like, oh, that's no, what a beautiful, whoa, woo, woo, doggo. Be like, yeah, no, it's like, Moonless is terrifying. Because all Moonless does is become a fucking blender for enemies, because she hits like a freight train. And if you want to really beat some of those higher tier threats, you're gonna need some firepower, and Moonless definitely is that firepower. But again, you are massive, you're magical, you're diseased, you're not natural, and people are scared of you, and you may not be able to survive out there. So it's like, yeah, it's like, hey, you are created. You have a natural SR of 8. You can use equipment. You literally are a abomination that barely functions. Like, oh, I understand. Greater soul. Okay. So, generally speaking, I think I know how we're gonna do this. The thing I'm not super confident about is right up here. Fear. The thing is, I don't know if I want no love. What I want to do is make a choice. How do I want to? I want to say, do I want to keep with the current system, or do I want to do like a roll under, roll over system maybe? Give it a little bit more unique identity. If I do that, I'm gonna have to change certain aspects of the game, but like, how do I do that? How do I make a roll under, roll over system with a D20? I don't use D20s often for my games. There's a variety of reasons for that. I just don't much care for them. That's gonna be one aspect. It's gonna be a little bit funky to work with, because like if we're going through this, like, what do you mean by roll over, roll under? Well, for your loves, your fates and determination, luck, occult, vitality, and evils. Vitality needs to be changed. What you have to do, if you're acting with it, you're acting with your luck, for example, you're just saying, hey, I am just winging it. We're just winging it, everyone. You're gonna roll your D20 and you want to roll under your luck. If you want to say, nope, I am taking fate in my own hands, I'm doing something, I'm rejecting luck in this situation, you're gonna be rolling your luck and you want to roll over it. Luck is always going to be 0 to 20. Occult's going to be 0 to 20, vitality 0 to 20, evils 0 to 20. The idea is, if you're working with it, you are rolling under. If you're working against it, you're rolling over. I was thinking maybe we can do that with these, with the attributes, which would in turn be more approach based. What do you mean roll it? Why would I choose to roll like that? Yeah, that's kind of one of the issues. Effectively, rolling with evils, if you want to say, if I want to roll against evil, if I'm like, hey, I want to reject this, this is fucking evil. Holy shit, I'm innocent to this, and I don't want to see this anymore. This is horrible. You've committed a horrible sin. I don't want this. I'm gonna like act against this. Rolling with it is, I do not care that I just murdered a child. I do not care. Not my fucking problem. That's kind of the idea behind it a little bit. That was like the roll over, roll under system. Luck is the only one it really works with perfectly. Why would I choose to roll over my 15? Well, that's the thing. These are saves. You don't really get to choose unless you are actively acting in a way. You want to gamble? Roll under your luck. You want to try to rig a game? Yeah, it's saves. That's the idea for loves, is that these are your saves in a way. Are you acting with it? Acting against it? Are you trying to embrace it? Are you trying to reject it? They don't work perfectly. That's kind of the thing. They don't work perfectly. If I were to change these, they need to either be... How do I want to... They need to be either more simplified by just saying, this is a luck, this is luck, this is occult, this is talent. Because, like, right now, the idea behind vitality is you've been hit by something, you've been hit by poison, roll vitality, roll under your vitality, you roll a fucking 2. It's like, okay, you've resisted the poison. Hey, that's why I say, like, vitality doesn't work in this current system, and it didn't work before. That's why I'm like, what do I change this to? Like, that... This is just one of those things, like, I need to change, and I don't know what to change it to. Because I need a physical... I need a physical way of doing resistances. You've been stabbed with a rusty knife. What happens? You've been fucking lit on fire. What happens? What can you do to work against it, though? That's kind of the that's like one of those issues. Luck actually makes a lot of thematic sense for luck. Say, no, I don't want to take this in. Say, no, I do. Ah, God. Ah. I don't want to take this. I do. The idea is, like, I don't want to take this, you know, thing. I'm acting against my luck. I'm taking luck into my own hands. What's going on? I'm relying on myself to do this, not fate. You want to say it's like, I think the best way to think about luck would be, are you gambling against something, or are you trying to do something faster by your own hands, effectively? Be like, fuck this. You know, fuck you, fuck this kind of thing. Occult is, hey, what's your connection to spooky shit? Are you super connected to spooky shit? I'm acting against my vitality. Dies. You see the issue. Like, it's the, hey, my occult is really high. I have a really high occult. I want to see things through that occultic lens. I want to believe that every single thing is driven by stars and fates and things like that. However, it's like, I have really low occult, which is, hey, I view things very logically. This shit makes sense. I'm not seeing signs. I'm seeing shit that makes sense. And it's like, yeah, you can resist things a little bit easier in a different way. Evils was more along the idea of, like, you are acting completely evil. If your evil is very high, you can act a lot more callously toward others than, you know, you're going to commit an atrocity and not give a shit. This is not shaking your resolve at all. If your evils is very low, you're acting against it sometimes. Be like, no, fuck you. I've done nothing wrong. I'm a good person, or like, you're a bad person, or what. That's kind of the idea. You see that this system is not perfect in any remote capacity. So I need to fix it, but I don't know if I want to, like, shift the entire game to that, or do I want to improvise something different? Maybe vitality could be linked to physical needs. Not a bad idea. See, if I were to change things up, I would have to... I would need to make it so that all of these play by similar ideas. It's like, hey, you have everything is stats. That's the idea. It's like, just like, hey, you have an occult of +2. Roll me occult. Do you beat this? Yes. Okay, you're fine. Hey, roll me vitality. You beat this, you're fine. Vitality is necessary. I need a physical save. These are just what they are. They're saves. Rewording these, changing these up, that's going to be a big thing about it. Mostly because, like, the currently way these work, I want to make attributes more approach-based. Which is, I am acting with pure ferocity. I just want to beat the shit out of you. I am acting with scholarly knowledge and mystic inclination. I'm trying to think something through. I'm trying to outwit something. I'm trying to think something and using tools at disposal. Or I'm trying to power through something. My resolve. And it's kind of the idea of like, oh, I want to make a charisma check. You're making a resolve check. Because what are you actually doing? I want to convince them that I'm on the up and up. You're going to roll resolve. You are saying, hey, I am honestly, I need your assistance. They're like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'm with you. While something like, but you can also roll a resolve like, hey, there's something spooky happening. What's your resolve? Like, I am going to say, fuck you. I am resisting this. I'm going to power through this. I don't care what they're saying. Not influence. Some of these need to get changed. Resolve is one. Like, ferocity, eruditeness, majority. Alright, works pretty well. Luck works. I think luck saves are fine. Occult saves. Alright. Vitality saves. No. But yes. I think the best way to think about it is just like, this is your like random chance. This is your magic bullshit save. This is your physical save. This is your moral save. Like, are you doing something really evil? Make an evils check. Like, is your character really that low on the karmic totem pole? Or are you gonna take mind damage from it? Which is gonna be something like, it's nothing for Resolve and Riz to. It's not for nothing that Resolve and Riz begin the same. I am not adding the Riz stat to the Fear and Hunger role-playing game. No, we are not adding the Riz stat. Yeah, I'd say like Resolve needs to be changed to something. Kind of like, I want to do something with Resolve. I want it to be active. I want the loves to be reactive and fears to be active. You're actively using your fears. You're reactively using your loves. So, I mean, maybe sub out vitality. I wonder if there's a different word for resolve. Put resolve down here somewhere, or maybe fold it into evils. I don't know. Resolution. It's one of those things I think I just need to like sit down and think about and just plug away at. There's an answer. Don't get me wrong. There's an answer. Just trying to find that. How do you find the ideal outcome? And I don't think there is a right outcome. And I'll look around. You know, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna look around. I'm gonna see if I can't find maybe a game that does what I'm thinking of. Maybe I can find something with kind of like the saves that kind of go both directions. Maybe I can work with that a little bit. Maybe there's a good idea I can find. Maybe there's no good ideas and I'm fucked and I'm just gonna have to improvise. But hey, that's half the fun, right? So thank you all for watching. We'll call it here for right now. Wednesday, if I'm feeling confident, we'll begin on Wednesday. If I'm not feeling confident, we'll probably do another one of these on Wednesday. But thank you all. Godspeed. Good luck. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. Tomorrow, I have a feeling tomorrow's video is going to be short. I really don't think I have much to talk about with the clay that woke, but I want to talk about it, kind of thing. So we might do a Spell of the Black Magician stream tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that in case you want to watch me try to interpret Russian poorly. So thank you. Have a nice night. You know the rest.